If you were charged with resisting arrest in Orlando, Florida, then it's very important to speak with an attorney who can help you through this process. Just 2 weeks ago, I met with a young man who was out and about in Orlando. He was expressing some opinions about his group, or he was part of a group that was out there downtown making their voices heard. And unfortunately, him and his group found themselves in a situation where they were approached by law enforcement. They weren't given the benefit of the doubt. They weren't allowed to do what they were doing peacefully, and they were arrested for resisting an officer. Now, resisting an officer can be charged in one of two ways. The way that I see it the most is resisting an officer without violence. You also have resisting an officer with violence, which sometimes they can throw at you if they're feeling up for it that day. I've seen both situations, but what I've rarely seen is a situation where being charged with either of those crimes is warranted. Many times, unfortunately, law enforcement may become overwhelmed, or they simply can't handle the situation, and they end up arresting someone for resisting an officer without violence. Now, the charge of resisting without violence is interesting because it can simply be just resisting the lawful commands or the commands of a law enforcement officer, or even impeding their investigation. All of that is very subjective, and I've seen that used to the detriment of these individuals who get arrested for this type of crime. So it's very important to get in touch with an attorney who's dealt with these issues, get someone involved quickly, maybe yourself gather evidence. Video footage is very helpful nowadays. People recording with their cell phones and things of that nature to really see if the facts warranted the arrest for resisting charge. Now, in my experience, that is rarely the case, so it is very important to hire the attorney who's experienced in that. That way they can look through all of this and make sure that you get the best defense possible. If you have any other questions about resisting without violence or with violence in Orlando, Florida, please call the Victory Law Firm.